The assassination of one man and his wife was the trigger for the Great War. Archduke Franz Ferdinand was killed by Gavrilo Princip on June 28, 1914. The attack on the heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire by a Bosnian Serb nationalist was all the motive Austria needed to enter into war with Serbia. The reaffirmation of the alliance between the Austro-Hungarian Empire and Germany in 1912 led to the threat of retaliation from Britain should her ally, France, be attacked. When Russia, newly allied with Great Britain and France to form the Triple Entente, came to Serbia's aid, Germany declared war. Within days, Great Britain, France, Russia, the Austro-Hungarian Empire and Germany were at war, as were the British colonies, including Australia, New Zealand and Canada. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw massive advancement in technology, leading to an arms race between the great powers. Great British arms policy required that the Navy be able to defeat its two greatest enemies. Other countries established conscription systems, requiring young men to serve in the military for a period of time. While Australia did not have conscription, upon the outbreak of war, young men raced to enlist. Like thousands of other young men, Horace Hurrell was quick to join up, and on the 11th of January 1915, he enlisted in the Australian Imperial Forces. He was South Australian and was assigned to the 10th Battalion Infantry, as a majority of South Australian men were. He was attested to Camp Mitcham, where he undertook initial training. On the 20th of April, he embarked the HMAT Ororata in Adelaide, sailing to Egypt via Perth. Strangely, he disembarks in Perth and is discharged from the AIF for being medically unfit for further service. What made him unfit for service is unknown. In a twist of fate, however, his discharge is cancelled and he is sent back to Camp Mitcham. He boards the HMAT Star of England on September 21, 1915, and arrives in Alexandria, Egypt, in December of 1915. In April the following year, his battalion joined the British Expeditionary Forces and sailed for Marseille. Horace Hurrell's experience of war was short. The 10th Battalion's first major action in France was at Pozières, in the Somme Valley. From the 23rd of July to the 5th of August, the 1st Anzac Division successfully captured the ruined village of Pozières from the German 117th Division. After a night of enemy bombardment, at 12:30 a.m. on the morning of the 23rd, the Australians began their first campaign on French soil and attacked the village from the south. They quickly took the enemy's front trenches and within 2 hours had reached the main road of the village. Private Horace Hurrell did not survive that first day. Neither did 302 of his comrades. Newspapers in Australia reported of the bravery and dash of the Australian diggers and the success of the battle. Losses were reported as light. However, by the 27th of July, the 1st Division had suffered 5,285 casualties. Although Australia and its allies were eventually victorious, the loss of life left an indelible imprint on those left at home. Mrs. Gertrude Hurrell was one of thousands of mothers who received the worst news possible, the loss of a loved one. Even worse was that only a month prior she had waved farewell to her husband George, who had also joined the 10th Battalion, in the hope of serving alongside his son. He never had that opportunity. After his deaths, tribute poured out in the Adelaide Advertiser and Chronicle. From family, neighbours, friends and comrades, their pain and grief still strong. For 20 years, a memorial was published in the Adelaide Advertiser on the 23rd of July, the anniversary of his death. This is why we should commemorate Anzac Day, not just for the soldiers who fought, but for the tens of thousands of family members and friends who worried, cried, grieved and mourned. Pages in every newspaper in the country capture that anguish.